Hey guys! Welcome to Mama's Voice. In this program, we will meet priests from around the globe. We will discuss interesting features of their lives, from their humble beginnings, their calling, the churches, and more.
Hey guys! In this episode, we are with Reverend Father Ricarty D. Macalino, Director of Bahay Pag-ibig Home for the Aged located at Barangay Telabastagan, City of San Fernando, Pampanga. Let us get to know more about him up close and personal here on Mama's Voice, Mama Mary's Voice.
So I am Reverend Father Ricarty Macalino, born on October 6, 1981. I am a native of Macabebe, Pampanga, and my parish there is San Nicolas de Tolentino Parish, Macabebe, Pampanga, wherein my faith life and my life as a Catholic Christian was nourished when I joined the Parish Youth Ministry and also the Knights of the Blessed Sacrament. My present assignment, I am the Apostolate Director of Bahay Pag-ibig Home for the Aged and the Munting Tahanan ng Nazareth in Mabalacat City, Pampanga. And also, I am also the Archdiocesan Archivist and also one of the members of the Archdiocese of San Fernando Office of Exorcism. So, these are my present pastoral assignments. As an archivist, my primary role is to preserve the archival documents and also to file them, especially the files of our Archbishop, the parish priest, and anything about documents in the parishes, in the special ministries. I am in charge of them, in filing them, preserving them, and keeping them in a safe vault in order for this document to be always in good condition. That is my primary role as an archivist. Primarily because I am not very learned with some languages, for example, like Latin and Spanish. When I am searching and looking at these documents, I am always going back to my previous courses in Spanish and Latin in order to understand the content of these materials. And also, I am also new in this ministry. That's why I am making always a visit to different archives, especially in Manila, in UST, in order to have a foundation or some sort of benchmarking in order to equip myself and also to improve the Archdiocesan archives here in the Archdiocese. I am now on my third year as an Archdiocesan archivist. As a priest, I am going to my fourth year as an ordained minister, as an ordained priest of the Holy Roman Catholic Church. I was ordained a deacon on July 13, 2016, and since then, for almost 1 year, I was assigned as the Cathedral Deacon at the Metropolitan Cathedral of San Fernando. And then, I was ordained a priest on February 20, 2017. For almost 3 years, I was assigned as the Vice Rector of the Metropolitan Cathedral of San Fernando. And then, after the reshuffle last May 10, 2019, I was assigned here as the Apostolate Director of Bahay Pag-ibig and Munting Tahanan ng Nazareth. Challenges always comes, especially in the ministry of a priest. But what matters the most is how to overcome these challenges. We will be able to overcome the challenges of our life, especially if we ask the grace of God and if we are open to possibilities, and if we are open to respond to these challenges positively with a positive outlook in life. For example, in my ministry as an archivist, more of a research, benchmarking, visiting archives in different parishes or dioceses, that will help me to overcome the challenges as a new archivist in the Archdiocese. I come to know the life of a priest when I joined the parish youth ministry in our parish and when I became a member of the Knights of the Blessed Sacrament. And I was elected as the Knight Commander, and my main task then is to accompany the priest in his masses in our barrio chapels. And one time, my former parish priest, the late Reverend Father Jose David, asked me, keng Kapampangan na itong bisa kang magpare. Do you want to enter the seminary and become a priest? At first, I have no response, but when I went home, that question from my parish priest always lingers, and I always hear that in my heart and in my mind. So that began the desire to enter the seminary and to become a priest. And after high school, I entered the Franciscan Seminary, the Our Lady of the Angels Seminary in Bagbag, Novaliches, Quezon City. And then after that, I asked for a regency because I am not sure yet with my vocation. So I work as an instructor of theology and also teacher of CLE at the University of the Assumption. Then after 3 years, that call is always haunting me. So after 3 years of working, I decided to respond to that call to become a priest, and I entered the Mother of Good Counsel Seminary, Graduate School of Theology, to where I finished my theological studies, and also after my formation there on February 20, 2017, I was ordained a priest.
When we return, we will still be with Reverend Father Carty Macalino. Stay tuned here on Mama's Voice, Mama Mary's Voice. You are still tuned in to Mama's Voice, Mama Mary's Voice. Please like and share our social media accounts to know more about our Mama's Voice. Back on our interview with Father Carty.
My lolo and lola are devout Catholic. They always go to church, and they always ask me to be with them each time they attend the Sunday Mass. And also my mother is a devotee of the Señor Pong Nazareno and the Mother of Perpetual Health. Every Friday, my mother is always present at the Quiapo Church to be present in the Mass, and also every Wednesday in Baclaran to attend the novena to the Mother of Perpetual Health. So this person influenced me to enter the seminary and become religious, and also to become a priest. Ako po ay tubong Macabebe, Pampanga. Proud ko po na taga Macabebe ko. So dahil ang Macabebe po ay kilala bilang isang town na malalim ang pananampalataya sa Diyos. So naalala ko po nung bata po ko, before ako mag-aral, lagi po akong dinadala ng nanay ko sa simbahan. And lagi ko tinatanong, ano bang tawag dun sa lalaking nakaputi sa gitna, at sinasabi ng nanay ko, anak pari yun. So at an early age of 5, sabi ko sa nanay ko, mapaglaki ko gusto kong maging katulad nun. So wala pa akong notion kung ano yung pari nun, basta nasabi ko lang yun. Nung una po, my dream is to become a licensed psychologist. So kaya gusto ko pong i-take before is a psychology. So ang totoo po, nag-take up din po ako ng exam sa isang prestigious university, and I passed the exam. Kasabay po yan ng exam ko sa seminaryo sa Franciscan. Kaya lang po, ang dasal ko noon, kung ano yung unang darating na results, yun yung plano ng Diyos. Obvious naman, sa seminaryo, konti lang yung nag-exam. So unang dumating yung results noon. Kaya I have chosen the path to priesthood rather than to pursue yung pong AB Psychology na ita-take up ko sana dun sa isang university. Pauna-una po yung mga religious, meron po silang tinatawag na evangelical counsels, yung mga vows nila of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, sa religious po, pag after your novice, especially during the solemn profession, talagang meron kang pipirma na document na you will not receive any material wealth na nasa pangalan mo, lupa, bahay, kotse, lahat in common nakapangalan sa religious order kung saan ka belong. Kabaligtaran naman sa diocesan naman, meron tayong tinatawag na yung mga aming ordination vows. Ano po yan? Yung celibacy, yung simplicity of life, and also obedience to the bishop, to the local ordinary, and also yung praying of the liturgy of the hour. So yun po yung sa amin. Hindi naman po requirement kasi meron po mga seminarians na dire-diretso po sila sa kanilang formation from minor, college, theology. But sa akin po, ina-advise ko po yung regency. Kasi po magkakaroon ka ng ibang perspective sa buhay mo. Madidepend pa lalo yung iyong interpersonal skills, lalalim yung iyong pagkatao. So masasabi ko po, salamat sa aking mga formators because meron silang program sa akin na Regency for 3 years because na-deepen po yung aking pagkatao. Yung human side ko po, yung interpersonal skills. Dati po, mahihain ako. Dati, parang kung ano yung gusto ko, yun lang yung nasusunod. Kaya masasabi ko po, kung agad ako na-ordinan, siguro, isa po ko sa mga pari na mayabang, pari na mainitin ng ulo, pari na parang hari na kung anong sinasabi dapat hindi nababali. So yun po yung kagandahan po ng regency. Makikita mo yung aspect ng ibang ng life mo outside the seminary. And matitest mo rin siya if God is calling you indeed to the ministry of priesthood. Kasi meron pong mga nagre-regency po na nakita na lang kailang bukasyon sa married life. So, yun po dapat yung isa din nating maintindihan when someone enter the seminary, ang formation po na yun hindi lang sa pagpapare. Ibig sabihin, along the way, tinuturuan din ng seminaryo because it is a place of discernment kung saan ba tinatawag ng Diyos ang lalaking ito, sa pagpapari ba o sa buhay pagiging may asawa. So, basically, ganun po. Usually po, meron silang program nang sa akin po, inassign po nila ako dito sa Bahay Pag-ibig for 3 months. Nag-join po ako sa paglalaba, pagpapakain ng mga lola, paglilinis sa surroundings dito. Kaya siguro yun, inassign din po ako dito dahil nakita nila na I was here before during my seminary formation years. So yung mga ganun po. And then, iba naman, sinasabihan na magtrabaho sa corporate world kasi parang ang iniisip ng batang yun, pagpapare lang, pagpapare, wala siyang perspective na iba. So, kung i-explain ko yung regency, para siyang it is a test of vocation where God is calling you in the priestly life or in the life outside the seminary, outside the ordained ministry life. Parang ganun po yung parang tinitimbang mo yung sarili mo. It is a test, it is a process of discernment. Nag 1 year na po ako last May. So more than 1 year na po ako bilang apostolate director ng institusyong pong ito. Unang-una po, tinatanong ko sarili ko, ba't ako in-assign dito? Wala naman akong training sa psychology talaga, sa healthcare services, yung mga ganon. Pero ang naisip ko, plano ng Diyos sa akin ito. And sabi nga nila, bloom where you were planted, sabi nila. So dapat kung saan ka dinala ng Diyos, doon ka dapat nag-grow. And you let God to form and mold you where He is where He assigned you. Kung saan kanya itinalaga na dinala, dapat doon ka, hayaan mo yung sarili mo na i-form ka ng Diyos doon. I-mold ka ng Diyos doon. So yun po. And then yung mga challenges po, una, syempre, yung 1 year ko po, parang dinadama ko lang kung ano ba yung ministry na to. So basically, dito po, Meron pong mga areas of services na binibigay sa mga elderly. Yung pong home care services, yung pong food services po, yung physical, and then yung health service po namin, tsaka po yung spiritual aspect. So, yun po yung aming holistic approach in taking good care of the lolas and lolas here. And isa pong lagi naming challenge dito ay yung pananatili po ng mga registered nurse kasi they come and go. So meron po mga nurse na gusto nila yung hospital setup, kaya po minsan mga 2 years, 3 years, then umaalis din po sila. So luckily po, for it is by God's grace, this coming January po, meron po nag-apply sa amin na 2 nurse din po na mag-take good care po sa mga lola at lola namin. Una-una po, I love reading books po, especially history books, church history books. So, yun po talaga yung interest ko kahit nung seminarista pa po ako. And also, exorcism books. So, kaya po siguro nadala ako sa exorcism because nung college pa po ako until theology, yun na po yung mga binabasa kong libro. Then secondly po, at during the pandemic po, natutunan ko rin pong mag-biking. Then dati pa po jogging and then basketball, hobbies ko rin po yung mga yan.
When we return, we will still be with Father Carty. Stay tuned here on Mama's Boys, Mama Mary's Boys. Welcome back on Mama's Boys, Mama Mary's Boys. Don't forget to like and share our social media accounts to know more about our Mama's Boys. Back on our interview with Father Carty.
Kailangan po nating maintindihan that the ministry of exorcism and spiritual liberation falls under the sacraments of healing. Diba yung pong sacraments natin na 7, ano po yan, diba? Sacraments of Christian initiation, yung baptism, confirmation, saka yung Holy Eucharist, diba po? Then sacraments of vocation, yung holy orders, saka po yung matrimony. And then, meron po tayong sacraments of healing. Ano po yan? Yung reconciliation and anointing of the sick. Doon po sa sacrament of healing, dahil po sacramental yung exorcism, falls under the healing ministry of the church. Because yung mga afflicted po, they are sick spiritually by the activity of the evil one in their life. So yun pong exorcism is siyang pagpapagaling laban sa mga sakit na dinadala ng mga masamang espiritu sa mga taong nararamdaman nila ang power ng evil spirits and demons. Sa canon law po, hindi po lahat. So dapat po, sinasabi po ng canon law, merong unblemished reputation, prayerful, yung old canon law, sabi nila old in age, pero recently po mga exorcists, mga bata po ngayon, especially in the Philippines. And then usually, tao siyang may malalim na relasyon at pagdarasal. Pero sa kabila ng ganun, kahit hindi ka perfecto, tinatawag ka rin ng Diyos yun, at dapat meron din siyang training in that kind of ministry. So kami po, every year, meron po kaming conference na ginaganap po sa UST. Yung pong Philippine Conference of Exorcism na spearheaded po by the Philippine Association of Catholic Exorcists. So, bali po hindi na po kami pupunta sa Roma para mag-aral. Yung mga professors ng Rome, sila po yung pumunta dito sa Philippines each year. So, ginaganap po yun sa UST po every year. So, yun po, training. Pag nag-a-administer ka ng exorcism, kung di ka talaga protected, merong demonic retaliation. It's either magkakasakit ka, kaya naman may nararamdaman kang demonic oppressions in your room, may naririnig ka, nagkakaroon ka ng bad dreams, and among others. Noong nagsisimula ako, laging may karanasan akong ganon. And then naalala ko, dapat pala, before mag-engage sa exorcism, dapat meron kang gagawin na prayer for protection. And then you will do fasting, at least 1 full meal during that day. Kung mag-exercise ka, wag mong iti-take. And then, kung pwede din, para protected ka, magko-confess ka rin sa fellow priest. And then you will spend 1 hour in front of the Blessed Sacrament praying for the liberation of the person. Meron po na, ina-advise po namin na pa-consult po sa doctor, so medical examination. Then usually po, sa aming karanasan, pag merong demonic in nature, may nararamdaman na parang masama sa katawan, pero clear lahat ang results ng test sa medical. Then secondly, we also ask the person to undergo psychological evaluation. So baka kasi psychological lang, hindi naman demonic in nature. But kahit hindi, but kung titingnan namin kung medical lang or psychological lang, na-found out namin na ganun, we'll also do the part of the priest of the church. We will also pray over the person. Okay, so generally po, every Sunday, meron po kaming celebration of the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass at 9:30. Kasama po yan sa aming spiritual nourishment, both for the lolos and lolas, the staff, and also yung mga dito po sa village. Kasama po sila nagsisimba dito. And then, meron din po kaming misa ng every Wednesday and Friday at 9 a.m. And then, usually po, ang mga activity po namin dito sa Bahay Pag-ibig, every year po, unang-una po, yung pong annual celebration of its foundation every last Sunday of June. And then, sineselebrate din po namin yung Elderly Month ng ating National Elderly Month po ng ating government. So, sineselebrate din po namin dito yan. And also, every feast day po ni St. Joaquin and Anne, isa po sa aming bagong i-introduce na parang Archdiocesan Day of Prayer for the Elderly. So yun po yung isang ipopropose din namin niya sa diocese para ma-focus din po yung institution na to sa diocese during month of July. And then regular din po yung aming programa dito na taking good care of the lola by providing them shelter, home care, medical, and spiritual nourishment sa kanila. And meron din po kami from time to time na nagbi-visit here from the generous benefactors na bringing us yung mga gusto lang i-donate sa mga lola at lola po. Unang-una po sa mga mananampalatayang Katoliko po at kahit hindi po, so lahat po inaanyayahan ko po kayo na pakibahagi po sa amin sa aming misyon ng pag-aalaga sa mga lolo't lola dito po sa Bahay Pag-ibig. Ang sentro po ng aming misyon ay mapadama sa kanila na meron silang pamilya, mga anak na nagmamahal sa kanila. Kasi halos po ng aming mga lola't lola dito ay mga abandoned, destitute, and sick elderly. Nakakalungkot po yung mga iba po, iniiwanan lang sa gate namin, sasabihin nila na sabi ng mga anak ko, mamamasyal lang kami, ba't iniwanan ako dito? Iba naman po, nagtrabaho ng kasambahay, then hindi na nakapag-asawa, nagpalaboy-laboy nang wala ng silbi, napunta po dito. So, yun po yung mission namin, mapadama sa kanila na merong nagmamahal sa kanila, meron silang kapamilya, at mahal sila ng Diyos sa magitan ng Bahay Pag-ibig. So, inayanyahan ko po kayo na mga lahat na may mga mabuting puso na mag-donate po kayo dito, any kind of donation po, tatanggapin po namin, maliit man o malaki, in kind or in monetary po.
We would like to thank Reverend Father Ricarte D. Macalino, Director of Bahay Pag-ibig Home for the Aged, for making this interview possible.
There you have it, guys. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Mama's Boys. Hope to see you in our future episode. This has been your host, Karen Dane. Jama Taray Shine!